In February 1945, the Battle for Manila erupted as American forces, led by the U.S. Army and supported by Filipino guerrillas, stormed the city to drive out the Japanese. The city, occupied since 1942, had become a stronghold for the enemy, who turned it into a fortress with heavily fortified positions in schools, hotels, and churches. As the Americans fought their way in from the south, the Japanese resisted fiercely, using every building as a deadly trap, determined to hold the city at all costs. The streets turned into a war zone, with gunfire, explosions, and chaos everywhere. As the fighting escalated, the Japanese forces, knowing they were losing, fought with a brutal sense of desperation. They slaughtered thousands of innocent civilians, using them as shields or executing them in cold blood, leaving a trail of death and destruction. The Americans, pushed to the limit, had no choice but to fight back hard, using heavy artillery, bombs, and street-to-street combat to crush the enemy. Buildings were reduced to rubble, and much of the city, including historic landmarks, was obliterated. The battle was a nightmare for both sides, but the Americans and Filipinos kept pushing forward, never backing down. By March 3rd, the battle was over. The Japanese were defeated, but at a terrible cost. Manila was in ruins, and 100,000 to 200,000 civilians lay dead, victims of the savage conflict. The American forces lost around 1,000 soldiers, while the Japanese suffered 16,000 casualties. The Battle of Manila not only ended the Japanese occupation of the Philippines but also became one of the most devastating urban battles of World War II, remembered for its intensity, the incredible courage of those who fought, and the heavy toll it took on the city and its people.